everyone, and welcome to FireEye Momentum 2017 here in New Orleans. I'm Kirk Storer of FireEye, and I'm very excited to be here this week with our top partners, customers, Salesforce, to talk about the FireEye difference. Joining me today is Barry O'Connell, one of our best partners. He's the Vice President of Security Services at HPE, and Tiffany Jones, our Vice President of Strategic Alliances here at FireEye. And they're here to talk about a very powerful, differentiated relationship that we have between our two companies. Barry, Tiffany, welcome.
Thank you.
So Barry, let's start with you. I guess you spoke right after Kevin Mandia earlier today, talking about the changes that are happening at HPE and what you see for the future of your relationship with FireEye. What is the big sort of security mission for HPE now?
Yeah, so we did talk a little bit about that earlier on, and I think the key thing for us is that we're going to be a pure play services organization when we spin out of our current format, which is with Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and we're going to merge with CSC. That takes place the end of March. First trading day will be April the 3rd. And we will be focused on two things from a security perspective. One will be around security consulting, which is predominantly focused on building the best security architectures for our customers. And the other will be on managed service, which is predominantly focused on security operations. Yep. What we want to do is become number one in security architecture, number one in security operations. Okay. Now to do that, we need a partner. We don't have any technology per se as an organization. We build platforms and so on and so forth, but in terms of putting in place the technologies we need partners. And our most important strategic partner is FireEye. So that fits into both those propositions, both a consult proposition in terms of how we deploy remediation, how we deploy the FireEye product set, and also from our services perspective in terms of how we manage the FireEye estates and so on.
Great. And Tiffany, you've seen our long relationship that we've had with HPE. What do you think has really been the successful approach that we've had with them over the last couple of years?
Well, I believe very strongly that HPE is one of the world's greatest enterprise services providers to clients, as well as one of the leading MSSPs, managed security services providers. They are just the perfect partner for us to be lined up with, where we're delivering best of breed security technology capability. So it makes for a really amazing marriage. We have some great successful clients as a result of our partnering together on solutions and capabilities for them. And I think we've learned a few things as well on the way in the last 2 years about what works and what doesn't work. I am also really excited, though, about the announcement that FireEye made a week ago when Bill Robbins reached out and communicated to all of its partners worldwide that we are changing how we behave and go to market. And that we are a channel-friendly company and organization. So that, I think, also is really going to change the game for 2017 and make what's already a successful partnership even more successful.
Great.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
In terms of what has been successful for our joint customers, what do you think has been that value that they've extracted from both of us working together over the last 2 years? Barry?
Yeah, well, we have some great examples of that, right? And I think the thing that customers are looking for is they're looking for a point of view, and they're looking for business outcome in the fastest possible time. If they work with us, they get two great brands. They get an architecture that's well defined in terms of how the product works and integrates with what they already have, and they get the outcome from an operational point of view if they need it in terms of the fact that we can operate that together. Now, because we've done that a number of times, we're able to go back to a customer with a defined path, and that is extremely valuable for a customer looking for a solution, particularly large enterprises where they're extremely complex, lots of pressure in terms of total cost of ownership of the tools they already have, and time to market. And I think what we've learned over the last couple of years is how to address each of those elements in our relationship. So it's more than just a technology and services relationship. It's actually focused on an outcome for the customer. And when the customers see that, they really get it. Right? They're not seeing simply someone bringing technology to the table. They're bringing a series of activities that lead to a tangible outcome. And I would say that if we look at our largest accounts, that's the feedback we've been getting from those guys, is it really works at a strategic level for them, as well as an operational level for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we've heard it already this week that a lot of what we're focused on is the total cost of ownership and how can we drive towards business outcome instead of just deploying technology. So there's definitely that good marriage there. I guess in terms of expanding our partnership over the next year or in 2017, what do you think will be sort of those incremental steps we'll do, now that we have a relationship that's really building on top of the success we've already had?
I think, first and foremost, as FireEye, we've learned a lot more over the last couple of years about how HPE goes to market, right, with its customers and where its focus areas are. And it's less about how FireEye goes to market and more about how we embed our capability into the offerings and services that HPE is delivering to its customer base. So it becomes more seamless from a go-to-market perspective, much easier from a selling motion perspective for our field sales organizations as well. And so I'm really excited about those changes coming.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. Anything as we move into the next couple days of the conference that you think are going to be important for our audience to know as we close out here?
I think there's a couple of things. One is that, and we've just actually come from a meeting with our Americas team, is we've got to make the relationship real and tangible to our sales teams that are on the ground. Okay, so we have lots of really good senior executive meetings where the rubber hits the road is with our sales team. So I really encourage our sales teams here, and if they're watching this at some point in the future, to reach out to their contacts within FireEye or within HPE and to build up the relationships that are required to make a successful customer interaction. And we have those pretty well defined, so they're there. I understand navigating a company like HPE can sometimes be difficult, so we've tried to make that as easy as possible by getting the right contacts in place to line up with the right contacts on the FireEye side, and we'll see that happen a lot throughout 2017.
That's great. And Tiffany, anything from you?
No, I think that's spot on. And I do think, again, pushing out a more solid channel communication to our partners, that our business is going to be going through channel, right, moving forward is also a critical component for success.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you everyone for watching.